Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, I want to talk about the difference between the old paradigm and the new paradigm and how you operate within the new paradigm as opposed to the old paradigm. Because there's a lot of misconceptions about there, and I see a lot of you are stuck. Like, there's something more. You're meant to operate at a different level. Things could actually just be different in your life and how you function. But what we do, this is what I'm seeing really happening here, and I want to really talk about this here. I'm not even sure how this is going to completely go today. This topic just came into my mind about 5 minutes before I flipped on the camera, which sometimes happens. But what I see a lot of you doing is like you're meant for something more, but you're overthinking things. You're thinking about how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this work? How am I going to shift here? How? And that's the old paradigm. That is the old paradigm. The old paradigm is very much about having a plan, being able to defend that plan, having that plan make sense on paper, having that plan make sense to everybody around you, having a plan that looks foolproof. I mean, you think you're going to an interview, right? What's your 10-year plan? Like, and if you don't have a 10-year plan, there's something wrong with you, or you're irresponsible, or you're flaky, or you don't know what you're doing. That programming is deep. It is deep programming. But that is the old paradigm. The old paradigm wanted you to have all these steps that were laid out that made sense, that you could follow like a script. And there was safety created in that, right? But what it also did was it forced you to control everything, right? Because you had to stick to the plan. So the problem with that, well, there's many different problems, but one of the biggest problems with having a 10-year plan or a 20-step plan or however that looks for you is if you are so committed to that plan, what happens is opportunities come along the way, different situations come along that may be better suited for you. You don't take them because they're not in alignment with the plan that you have created for yourself. This is why so many people have realized they don't feel fulfilled. They don't feel like they're in a rewarding life because they built their life on the old paradigm. We all did. That's how I did this too. You created a plan. You thought this was supposed to make me happy. This is supposed to bring me success. This is supposed to do all these things. And so you stick to this plan and you're seen as responsible. You're seen as somebody who's got it together. But what you do is you miss everything else, all the little synchronicities, all the little joys, all the little diversions that actually end up being a better path. But the old paradigm taught it's like almost like tunnel vision. This is the way you need to do it. This is the way you need to go. And we miss everything out here. And this is the joy. Out here are the pieces, the little things that came from left field that you weren't expecting. You're like, oh my gosh. All the little synchronicities, the person you meet, and all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, we're aligned. I love this. But if you're on the old paradigm path, you could be like, well, I can't do that. I can't deviate. That's irresponsible. That's stupid. That's flaky. That's whatever. I can't keep changing my path. I can't keep a lot of you are still running in that, right? You want to get to something better. You want to get to something greater, but you're still in this path of it needs to make sense to my logical brain. And I need to see the cause and effect. I need to see how this is going to unfold for me to be able to step forward. And that is the deep programming of the old paradigm. And think about that for a moment. What it actually says is, first of all, your logical brain is in control. Now, if you know anything about the brain wants to keep you safe, which means staying where you are, not really changing. But the brain can only access what you know and your past. Think about that. So if you're wanting to go into the new paradigm, you can't use your brain for all your decision making because all it can access is what you already know. And if you knew what the path was to your greatest joy, your greatest success, the next level of your leadership in your life and in your career and whatever you're doing, if you knew it, you'd be on it already. So your brain doesn't actually know it because we're in a new paradigm. That means you can't lean on the logic of your brain. And the conditioning on this is deep. It is truly one of the deepest things. And this is coming from somebody who loves the logical linear brain. I used to be an accountant. My major in university was economics. Talk about logical linear thinking. But your next level is not going to come from your brain. You can use your brain. Your brain is a support system for you. It is not the decision maker in this new paradigm. That is not it. Because what we did in the old paradigm is we used our brain and we ignored our intuition. We ignored our body when our body was going, no, don't go there. You don't want that. And that's bad. It's not going to go well. And our intuition said, something doesn't seem right here. Because you were so committed to that path, you were taught to ignore your intuition, the signs of your body, the nudges that come from within you. That's the old paradigm. The new paradigm doesn't allow for that. The only way to get to the new paradigm is to actually stop letting your brain run the show. The new paradigm doesn't come to us. We create it through how we function, how we operate within this world. That's the new paradigm. Okay, and then your outer world changes, and then, enough of us do this, the entire planet shifts, right? But as long as you continue to do things the old way, needing to have a plan, needing to understand, so if I pick this path, where is it going to go? Where is it going to lead me? And this goes down deep. This is not just conditioning in your behaviors. This goes down to identity. Identity potentially could be your biggest block right now. Because I'm the person who, I'm the person who, I'm the person who, I'm the person who, whatever comes up could be what's blocking you. So the new paradigm, this is more what it feels like. This is more the flavor of it, if you will. This is about being still with yourself long enough to know who you are. What are the signals of your intuition and what are the signals of your body? Okay? What is your body telling you? What is your intuition telling you? And listening to it. Start listening to it. And you don't need to start somewhere big. This is alignment. This is reclaiming your power. This is energetics. This is everything I teach. Okay. And I'm just kind of teaching it in a real simple step right now. Listening to yourself and what is your intuition telling you? What is your body telling you? And starting to listen to that in the littlest moments. Okay, in the littlest moments. You don't need to start with the big things. And in fact, I don't recommend you do. Start listening to your intuition and not needing to know why something is happening. Okay, this is one of the biggest things of the old paradigm. We need to know why we're meant to go this way or why we're meant to do this. I'm going to share a quick story with you. That's something that happened many years ago when I started playing with this. So what I started to do many years ago when I was playing with my intuition and really listening to myself in small ways was I would just listen to it, like on the little moments. If I was driving and my intuition said, turn right here, I did. But there was one time, and in fact, I thought about this the other day, so it's funny it's come up again. I was in a bookstore. This was probably, 18 years ago-ish, somewhere like that. And I grew up Catholic and did not have a good experience at all with Catholicism. It was a very bad experience for me. And I really just pushed away the idea of God or spirit or anything for a lot of my life till my early 30s. And I think that happens when you're raised in a religion that doesn't make you feel good about yourself. I'm not a religious person now at all, but I do have a very deep faith, okay? So I remember I was in a bookstore and my intuition guided me to this book. And it was clear, you need to buy this book. And it was the wildest, most bizarre thing. It was a book on Archangel Michael. Now, I didn't even know who Archangel Michael was. I didn't even really register with archangels. I didn't even really know what any of this was. I had no idea. But I'm like, okay, well, if I'm trusting my guidance, I'm trusting my intuition, I'm just going to buy the damn book, right? So I bought the book and I brought it home and I stuck it on my nightstand and it sat there. It sat there, I think, for months. I had no idea what to do with this book. I'm like, I don't know what this is. Like, I just have this book that's sitting here. And then one day I picked it up and it changed my life. I was like, oh my God. Like, my whole world just opened up. And this is the thing about the new paradigm. You're not going to know why you're doing something. That's the old paradigm. The logical mind in the old paradigm needs to understand everything. It needs to know, well, this is going to take me to B, and B is going to go to C, and C is going to go to D. That's not how this goes in the new paradigm. Your mind is going to want to try to create the cause and effects, but that's the old way. The new way is take the steps and trust. And what came to mind was trust like a motherfucker. I don't usually talk like that, just so you know. I have no problem swearing, but that expression doesn't normally come out of my mouth, so somebody needed to hear that. And maybe it's just to lighten it up. It's trusting, taking the steps, not knowing where it leads, trusting your guidance. And there may be every fiber of your being that feels like it's reckless, it's irresponsible, it's careless, blah, 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 blah. That's the old paradigm. Okay? The new paradigm is taking the steps, and the whole path will not reveal itself to you. That is not how the new paradigm works. It will not reveal to you. You will not know where it's going. So I'm going to tell you something else too, something that's come up for me. So I spent most of my contents on LinkedIn. Okay. I've been on LinkedIn for years. I spent all my time over on LinkedIn, right? And recently, end of last year, I was going, I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm not feeling like LinkedIn's my place. And I was just sitting with that energy for a little bit. Again, just going, okay, I don't really know what to do next though, right? So I started to let go of LinkedIn. I started to let go of it like energetically, going, okay, I'm just not spending as much time there, and I'm just kind of releasing it. And then, I was really sitting in this, and I'm like, I've always loved YouTube. Like, YouTube is my favorite platform for as a user. Content is in depth. I get to see more of somebody's personality. Whenever I've really engaged with someone, it's when I can be immersed in their energy, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be on YouTube. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I've invested like so much in LinkedIn. Like I said, if you ever want to go back and look at any of my content, head on over to LinkedIn. I'll make sure I put it in the description of this video today. And I was like really struggling with this. I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, well, I'm just going to give it a try. I have no idea where this is going. I'm going to post content on YouTube, as often as I can, probably not 7 days a week, but at least 5. And I'm just going to show up and I'm going to start sharing everything, all my content just here and just letting it all go. I don't know where it's going. I don't really have a plan for it, to be honest with you. I mean, I've got plans in terms of I have programs. But the old paradigm would say, okay, so if you're going to go on YouTube, you need to have somebody who's optimizing your SEO. You're going to need somebody like, blah, blah, blah. What's your plan? Where's this going? Right? I'm like, no. Energetically, this is the place for me. This is the place for me. And so I don't know where this is going in terms of, am I going to stay here? I feel like I am. Or where is it going in terms of what my next steps are? I've got some ideas in my head about what the next steps are, how to evolve my own business. Of course I do. But I'm also allowing it to show itself to me. I don't need to know, because here's the thing. The new paradigm says you need to move before you're ready, before you have the answers, before you know where this is going, because the path reveals itself to you. That's the new paradigm. It's like you put one foot in front of the other and you don't know where it's going. You will not know where it's going. If you're trying to create a path where you know the outcome, you're in the old paradigm. Even if it feels more enlightened, even if it feels lighter, even if it feels like this could be the answer to freedom. See, the new paradigm isn't a place. The new paradigm is how you function. It's all about alignment. It's all about reclaiming your power. It's all about energetics. And I will keep beating that drum because this is so important. You are not going to know. I don't know where this is going. Am I afraid? No. This feels so good to me. It feels really good. I'm sharing things. And I know people are getting value from it. I'm getting all the feedback. I'm getting like, this is how the new paradigm works. We connect with others who we are aligned with. We don't try to force it. It's just going to happen. I don't need to optimize my SEO. I don't need to do all the things. You're going to find me because of frequency. You're going to find me because of frequency, of course. It's how I have found every other person that I've listened to, that I've allowed to influence me and guide me. We just find each other. That's the beauty of the new paradigm. We don't force networking. We don't force all these things. You know, I think one of the biggest things the old paradigm taught that needs to be blown up, blown up in the biggest way, is this idea that you can engage in experiences, connections, relationships, opportunities that you absolutely hate, thinking it might lead you somewhere better. It goes against all the rules of energetics. You don't get to engage in things that you really hate, hoping it's going to lead to joy. It doesn't work. The new paradigm is following your joy, following what lights you up, following what feels good, listening your intuition, using your brain as a guidance system, using your brain, not as a guidance system, as your backup system. That's going to guide you. It's going to help you with some things. Like I need my brain to know how to upload on YouTube. I need my brain to know how to do a thumbnail. I need my brain to right? But my brain's not guiding me here. And your brain cannot guide you in the new paradigm. It's your support system and your support system only. But it's important to understand. Like I see people going to networking events and they see somebody and they're like, oh, that person might be a good connection, but they don't actually like them. It's not going to lead you anywhere promising, because that's what you're choosing to alignment with. This is so much about alignment as well when I'm talking about this. And I've just released my April masterclass, The Power of Alignment. And I teach you how to come into alignment. Super important. I'm going to put the link for that down below as well. But you don't get to pick unaligned things hoping they lead you to alignment. That's what the old paradigm taught you would happen. It doesn't. It doesn't happen that way. It goes against energetic principles. It goes against the laws of the universe, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. It's just like, it doesn't work. And you know that. I know you know that because you've probably been trying it, because the old paradigm taught us that. It doesn't work. You can't align with things that aren't in alignment with you and expect to feel good. It doesn't work. So this new paradigm really is how you operate. I'm just going to reiterate that before I close this video out here, because it's really important to remember it's your operating system. It's how you show up. It's how you function. Stop focusing on like, what is it? Like, what is the thing? Because people do focus on that. What's the thing I need to do? And they try to analyze their brain into it. Like they're trying to figure it out analytically. That's not the new paradigm. That's the old paradigm. And that is slowly dying. It is crumbling. You can see it's crumbling right now. So just start trusting yourself in the little moments. That's why I mentioned the book, because like it's so random, right? Like just so random. And I don't talk about this very often at all. In fact, hardly ever. But Archangel Michael has been one of my greatest supporters and greatest guides over the years. Like, that opened up a door to a relationship and the reason why I think this came up is because he came to me the other night when I was sleeping and gave me a bunch of messages about power and stuff, which were phenomenal. I'm not ready to share yet, but he has become one of my greatest guides. And so I never would have opened up to that had I not listened to that book, that intuition to buy that book. And it was so random. And I laugh at myself at the time. I'm like, oh my God, Andrea, what are you doing? What is this book? Like, what is this? I don't know. I just trusted myself. And this is the path forward, but you can only really trust yourself, and you build that trust through reclaiming your power, through aligning with your soul essence. That's how you build the trust. Because a lot of people are like, well, how do you even trust yourself? You can't force yourself to trust something. You build trust from within through alignment, through reclaiming your power. And I'll put both the masterclasses down here below because honestly, they work so well together. All right, beautiful soul. I hope this was super helpful. I'd love to hear your comments, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.